Hello, my name is Jenna. I'm the content strategist at Stream, and today we'll be talking about how to build a Rockstar team with Olivia Ryan. Olivia is the software project manager at the app development company Slingshot, based in Louisville, Kentucky. Olivia, thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so before we start into our main topic, can you explain what kind of work you do at Slingshot and what kind of company Slingshot is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Slingshot is a one-stop development shop. We're based in Louisville, Kentucky, and our slogan is that we are a development company for big kids and daredevils. So we kind of maintain that adventurous spirit while also remaining intensely inquisitive as well. So we service clients ranging from startup companies to Fortune 50 healthcare companies. So very diverse range of clients. And really from day one, our approach has been to build software that has a profound impact on our clients. So we really cater very specifically to our clients and try to provide them like a unique experience from start to finish. So as far as my role, as a rapidly expanding kind of developer founded business, the product team at Slingshot is actually relatively new. So these roles were kind of previously just done by the developers. So we've been expanding that in the last year. My role is really a hybrid product and project owner. So I serve as like the primary interface with between our clients and our development teams, and just really kind of guide the overall product strategy. So my goal in my role is to just maintain the right balance of business and technical knowledge to kind of help solve those complex intersectional problems and provide simple and elegant solutions for both the client and the development teams.
Excellent. It sounds like a really dynamic type of work. Could you provide any of the unique challenges that you kind of face in your role?
Yeah, so we really have to be flexible on our approach for each client. So, for example, a large healthcare company might have a more rigorous structure and compliance standards that we have to meet. Smaller clients may be more focused on budget or getting to MVP very quickly. So we can't always take the same approach for product management for each client. So I think the key to overcoming those challenges is really just to be fluid in your approach, try to know your client well, and provide a way to kind of meet their needs and meet them where they're at. And that's really what's going to gain trust from your client and build that relationship to where they know they can rely on you to guide that product strategy.
Excellent. So you mentioned that you're growing really rapidly. So could you provide an overview of like what are some top considerations that you're thinking about when you're building like your Rockstar team?
Yeah, so when we're bringing on new product managers, for me, the most important factor is going to be flexibility. Given that we're a smaller company with a wide variety of clients, kind of goes back to my previous, comment. You really have to get to know each client and know what works best for their team and their business, and be able to take those inputs and modify your approach to give them the best experience possible. So I'd say, flexibility is a big one. People who aren't afraid to like dive into the unknown and solve those complex problems. So really looking for that, adventurous spirit and inquisitive nature that is really drives all of Slingshot's approach.
And what is a Rockstar team? What does that mean to you?
So Rockstar team is going to have great communication. Slingshot, we have a home base in Louisville, but we've expanded obviously throughout 2020 to be to kind of bring in remote product owners. So we're really distributed kind of around the country at this point. So you really have to step up at that point and really focus on communication between the team. Yeah, just building a team that kind of has each other's backs and are willing to step in as necessary. So, bringing that team spirit to the entire effort.
So this is a great lead into my next question. But so when you do have kind of a disparate team in multiple different areas of the country, like how do you cultivate a positive work environment, especially when people are remote?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. I actually ask that every time I interview a potential PM candidate. Because the remote approach to communication has to be inherently, different than if you were sitting next to each other in an office. So to me, the key there is really to be almost over communicative. So you have to be really proactive about communication. So I'm always kind of pushing my developers to communicate more with both the product team and the project team, because you have to identify those roadblocks and issues really early, or you're going to miss either a requirement or a deadline or both.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine that you use Slack and Zoom. Like obviously we're on Zoom right now, but are there any
Right.
like specific other tools that are really helpful in collaborating with a remote team that you rely on?
Yeah, so we use Slack and Zoom. Obviously, the daily stand-ups are really important to have that constant communication going throughout the team. We heavily rely on Zoom, plugins and bots to kind of either prompt information. So we're piloting right now asynchronous daily stand-ups via Slack to communicate across multiple time zones. So obviously the basics are important, and then kind of leveraging those new either applications or plugins to really make the most of those tools.
Wonderful. That's a good tip. And so now, like when you're hiring, could you give an example of like a red flag that hiring managers should look out for when they're hiring for PM roles?
Sure. So I always ask PM candidates what they want to do less of in their next role, and obviously that's a kind of an individual question. But depending on the background of the candidate, they may say that they want to work on only one specific piece of the puzzle, or if they have a very specific idea of the roles and responsibilities of the product manager. And really the definition of this role, in my opinion, varies from company to company. So I think the most important thing is just to communicate, how we view the role, which is kind of a dynamic hybrid role just based on, our size and the types of clients that we have. And that kind of leads me to know how flexible this person is and what they're looking for. So it's really just about determining, the fit between expectations, and clearly communicating that from the get-go.
For sure. Well, that's wonderful advice. I mean, do you have any final thoughts for hiring managers and PM roles that would be important for them to know?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would just go back to, our approach at Slingshot: stay curious, stay adventurous, don't be afraid to dig in and solve those problems, and be flexible in your approach.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again for joining us, and thanks again for sharing your wonderful tips.
Yeah, thanks so much.